You no longer need to speak Python to build an app. English may be enough, but vibe coding is not the push button revolution it promises. How do I know this? Because my colleague Swathi Moorthy has actually built 4 web applications with just prompts without a single line of code. In this episode, I ask her to explain the possibilities, pitfalls, and price of building with AI. It's Friday, the 28th of August. I'm Anirban Chowdhury. This is the Morning Brief. Hi Swathi, welcome to the Morning Brief.
Hi, Anirban. Great to be here.
Okay, Swathi, we are talking about something really interesting. You have built 4 web applications with the help of AI prompts. Let's start with what have you built?
Okay, so I can share publicly about maybe two. So the two I have built, one is the I read a lot of books. I listen to a lot of podcasts, including the Morning Brief, and manga
Thank you.
and anime. What I found was that I couldn't find a platform that would help me track all of them. So I just thought I should just build one that would actually help me track what I'm reading, what I'm listening, what I'm watching across multiple platforms. So I set out to build one and I use them every day and it has been so useful. It also gives me at the end of the month what I have read or listened or watched the most and which is the most active month. So I have recorded this information since the beginning of the year. It comes quite handy.
Fantastic. So tell me, for someone who only knows how to give prompts to AI for summarizing annual reports, what is it like to build a web application with AI? What does it take to build with AI, basically?
Okay, I would say that I think I should give the first disclaimer. It is not easy as people make it out to be. Because when I started out, I thought it was going to be easy peasy, right? You prompt, you get the web application. But it's not easy because the first thing is you need to understand what it is that you want to actually build. You need to have a clearer idea. Let me just take you my process. So when I wanted to build this, I just started giving random prompts saying this is what I want, this is what I want. What I got was it was a very bad application is what I got first because I really didn't know how to prompt it. So then I started brainstorming with ChatGPT and refined that with GPT, and then it would give me a prompt which I would copy paste in any tool you can use. I use Google Anti Gravity. So it is a coding agent. It's an IDE, a developer platform built by Google. It worked pretty much fine for me. So I go to Anti Gravity and I gave it a prompt. And the best thing about Anti Gravity is it's all local, so it can actually run a preview on your Chrome browser. So you can
Okay.
actually see how it looks. And if you want to make changes, you can make the changes before you publishing. And publishing is a whole another challenge. I use GitHub for publishing all my applications because I
Mhm.
found it easiest to do it. Getting into GitHub, actually figuring out how to publish is another set of challenge I faced. And through the entire process, I had to ask multiple people, especially the techies in my network, and have multiple conversations with the chat GPT to actually understand the process of how to build to actually publish so that you can actually use it on the internet, right? Because to publish it on the internet, it has to be published on a platform. Only then will I be able to use it across. Otherwise, I'll be able to use it only on my laptop. So
Got
that
it.
process actually took me a couple of weeks. People say that you can just get it done in a day or two. Maybe you can if you are using platforms like Lovable and Emergent, where you
Mhm.
give a prompt and you already get a hosted website. I didn't take the easy route because I wanted to understand the process. So this took me a couple of weeks to actually understand and get the platform actually published for me to use. So this is what it takes.
What do you call the application?
So the first application, the reading tracker, I'm not going to give the name because it's still a work in progress and it has a lot of bugs. So it is not fine for use for public,
Mm.
but it's great for me. I can use it however I want. But again, so the second application, it's a game that I've built.
Mm.
It's called the Artifact Hunter. You can learn history through artifacts. So it's called the Artifact
Okay.
Hunter. And maybe I'll just post it on LinkedIn or Twitter for people to play. It's on GitHub. The UI looks great from people who have played, and maybe a little difficult. I found some of the things very difficult because, as much as I love history, I don't know too much about it, but I learn on the go. I think that's the whole point of the game, to learn history.
Wow.
Because,
Mm.
yeah, so to learn history through artifacts. So that is what I have built.
Mm.
Yeah.
You've
So
built a
it
game
was a
which you
challenge.
can't win. I mean, you've built a game which has already outsmarted you, is it?
Yeah, because I don't know much about history, and obviously these AI tools knows a lot more about history than I do.
Got it. Tell me more about challenges.
Okay, so the biggest challenge, what I said it when I'm building, it's when you are not a techie, just getting to understand the process is not easy. So I'll give the latest example. So I was trying to build something over the weekend, and I started using Cursor. And I was using Cursor to build something, and switching from anti-gravity to Cursor itself was a challenge because the UI is different, how you use things are different.
Yeah.
And I was not able to preview the application I had built because I was using Cursor on cloud. And the
Hmm.
second challenge is also the cost.
All right.
They are all expensive, like very
Mm.
expensive. A $20 a Cloud Code subscription, maybe you will be able to use Cloud Code, but to actually make the full use of it, you need to have a minimum $100 subscription. And in all honesty, I cannot afford that. So you also need
Of
to
course.
understand, yeah, we can't afford it. Like $100 or 10,000 bucks. I can't afford it per month to use a Cloud Code, despite it being the best.
And
The thing,
anti-gravity, is it free?
anti-gravity is free, and I also have an anti-gravity subscription. It's 2000 per month. So what you get for $20 with Cloud Code and what you get for $20 with Codex or anti-gravity is very different. It's not very useful. The $20, if you want a code, build applications, $20 Cloud Code, you can't do much. It's
Got
a
it.
little better with Codex, but much better with anti-gravity. And that is the reason why I use anti-gravity. And this is despite the fact that everywhere I go to all these builder meetups, and when they ask me what I do, I get judged for using anti-gravity because a lot of people think it's not as good as Codex or Cursor, but for me it does the job. If you're an absolute beginner, like you have zero technical background and you don't know anything, I would still suggest you can use platforms like a Lovable, Base 44. So these are the platforms where you prompt and the platform does everything for you. For example, I'm just going to give an example of my own, the reading tracker, which I mentioned. You have this interface, where you're adding the books, adding the shows. At the back end, it has to go save somewhere, right? So that is a backend, which is a database. I use a Firebase as a backend to store all the data that I wanted to store. You need to actually go manually connect the front end with the back end. So it gets a little complicated, not very easy. So if you want to build something, lovable, emergent, or even Replit. So all these platforms, you go prompt, the platform does everything for you. So all you have to do is that they have their own backend integration, and they have their own hosting services. You don't have to go for three different platforms like I did. So I would say that because it has lesser friction if you just want to experiment.
Got it. Now, Swati, something that I should have asked you at the very beginning. Somebody like me, but this is my final question. Somebody like me, I mean, can I sort of build what you've built, or do you have to be a techie, or I mean, can I learn? Where am I? I mean, how much do you need to really know?
You don't actually need to know anything, right? So, like I started with chatting up with one of these AI models, asking like, "This is what I want to build. How do I go about building it?" So it would give, and I usually ask, give me a step-by-step process of what I need to do and the prompt. So I just do that. See, you don't actually need to know anything. I have a technical background, but I have not coded in my life. I had always hated coding because you have to remember so many syntax and jargons. Who wants to do that? So all these platforms eliminate all of that, right? You can just code things with English. So it needs a bit of dedication. I would say that, say, maybe an hour or two you can spend and figure things out. So anybody with zero technical knowledge, anyone can build. So just see the magic of it, because the minute you get your first application on the internet, I was as happy as when I see my byline on the paper.
On that very encouraging note, thank you so much, Swati. And I wish you many more applications and some that the rest of us can also use.
Awesome. Thanks, Anirban.
So, vibe coding has lowered the entry barrier, but not eliminated the learning curve. The tools can build for you, thinking remains stubbornly human. That's it for today. You were listening to this episode of The Morning Brief. It was produced by me, sound designed by Amrit Reggie. Keep following our podcasts on your favorite platforms.